All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us for this trade training virtual this afternoon. I'm Jonathan Bradley. I'll be your kind of host for the next hour or so. I am a product manager at Kohler Company with a focus on the smart home product category. I have the pleasure of trying to bring all of our businesses together to align on a smart home strategy and a smart home portfolio that really brings a gracious experience to our consumers. I'm going to walk us through a handful of slides over the next hour. We have a chat feature built into the Teams environment, so please throw questions into that feature as we go through, and I'll make sure to save some time at the end to address as many of those questions as I can. Just to lay a little framework, though, I've been a part of the Kohler Smart Home team for 3 years, so have had my hands in a lot of the Kohler Konnect portfolio of products from the very beginning, and have a pretty good pulse on what's happening in the world of smart home outside of Kohler. So I hope you'll see some of that come through throughout the presentation, and we'll go through kind of 4 different areas as we work our way through. So one, what is smart home? What is the landscape? What is happening in the world as it relates to that kind of buzzword? What is Kohler Company's vision in this space? Give you an idea of the installation process associated with this, hopefully alleviating a lot of the concerns and allowing us to focus on the features and benefits and not the kind of scary installation. And then we'll end with 4 key products that are in the portfolio today and how they improve consumers' lives as they come into the home, bathroom, and kitchen. So with that, I'll start, like I said, with a sampling of what's happening. So this is something that we do frequently, and it's called leading edge. So what is happening in the world of smart home as it relates to the overall portfolio, not just kitchen and bath. So this is applicable, at least from our opinion, to any product within that smart home world. And I like to start here because it just gives us a really great foundation of what's happening. And hopefully you'll see the influence of what's happening as it relates to the Kohler products. So I'll walk through these 5 pillars. The first one we call quiet and helpful interfaces. And what we mean by that is this transition in the way that we interact with data and information in our lives. Many people will argue that we are on our 3rd interface in terms of interacting and bringing information into our lives. The first kind of evolution was click. So think when World Wide Web started, everyone was clicking their mouse to get access to information. That was the click. Then we transitioned into what's called touch, right? So everyone probably in front of them right now has a touch phone and a touch screen on their computer. That was the second way we interacted with data. Now we're on our 3rd interaction, which is voice. So everyone's probably familiar with those smart assistants like Amazon Alexa and the Google Home Assistant. That voice interaction is now the prevalent way and the newest way that consumers are interacting with data. And it's really changing interface interaction for all product categories. And it's also creating a really distinct shift in terms of what we call quiet or calm technology. So it's meant to be out of sight, out of mind, but a really easy and intuitive way to interact with data and information. So that's the first kind of pillar of what's happening in the world. The second one is data minimalism. And what this means is for a long time, the last decade or so, companies were collecting every bit of data they could think of on you without really any reason or why, but with this future vision of maybe someday we will use this. Consumers have raised their hand and said, time out, that's not okay, that's my data, that's my information. Companies, if you're going to collect data on me, you better have a really good reason why and explain to me why. That's created this shift to what we call data minimalism. So the thought process is only collect the minimum amount of data that you need to get the job done for the consumer that you've described to them and to give them that benefit. That's something that we keep really near and dear to ourselves, especially as we're talking about the spaces that Kohler products play in. So data minimalism, what's that minimum viable data you need to get the job done? The third one, probably no shocker to anybody, is trusted clean. So all that is happening in the world, how are we able to take products and provide a cleaner experience, a healthier experience, with technology incorporated into products, doing meaningful things that the product couldn't have done without technology before. Wellness and health. This is probably one of my favorite ones to talk about. And I talk about it a lot because for the longest time, we would say that the most valuable resource in the world was money or oil or gold. But in reality, the most valuable resource is time. So time on this planet. What allows me to spend more time on this planet with the things and people that I love? And a quick analogy would be being healthier oftentimes relates to more time. So any bit of technology that can improve your health or wellness is obviously a very big trend when it comes to smart home and technology in general. And then the last one, ecosystem. So everyone is overwhelmed with the choices that they have in terms of the apps on their phone or the products within their home. And there's just too many choices in reality. So a big shift is how do we create these pockets of ecosystem that do great things kind of in their own little ecosystem or environment. And what Kohler is really trying to do is create that ecosystem of products for the bathroom space, simplifying the decision-making process for the consumer of we've created the complete ecosystem for the bathroom. Trust us, trust the products we put together. That ecosystem is complete. So these 5 leading edge trends shift and change and are dynamic, but this is kind of a snapshot of what Kohler Company sees happening right now in terms of smart home at a very, very high level. And I'd be remiss without going one layer deeper into that first one that I talked about, which was the new interface, right? So I'm pretty sure everyone, like I said, is familiar with Amazon Alexa or Google Home and those voice assistants and their interaction with information within the home. It's just really important to note the adoption rate of those products. So this graphic that you're looking at shows the adoption rate, so how fast a product has gotten into consumers' homes from its inception over time. And smart speakers have been adopted at a rate clearly faster than any other piece of technology throughout history. So what that's saying is consumers are buying them, they're buying multiple of them, they're giving them as gifts to their friends. They really love these products, and it's important to note this. This was a really distinct change over the last 5 years that has made smart home a reality for a lot of companies like Kohler and others, because we've commoditized this environment. The word smart home is not a new word. It's been around for decades. There's been companies like Control4 and Crestron and Savant talking about smart home and doing it in a really great way, but at a different price point. These smart speakers have really changed the game and allowed consumers to build affordable and modular smart homes that they can change over time and build to their needs, which has given companies like Kohler the opportunity to come into this ecosystem with partners like them to build our experience. So just in that quick little 10 minutes, that's really where Kohler sees the market in terms of trends, and just a really important notes about the smart speakers, and they're driving the change of making smart home commoditized for more companies and more consumers to have in their lives. With that, just a little shift into giving you a glimpse into what Kohler's long-term vision is. I will preface, we are not to the ideal state of our long-term vision yet today. This is very much an iterative version 1, version 2, continuous improvement journey that we are on to build the perfect ecosystem, but our long-term vision remains the same, and it's a great guiding light that we keep in front of us to make sure we're driving to the right place. So the world will know Kohler as the brand that provides smart environments to help consumers care for themselves and the ones that they love. We've had this vision out there for the last 2 years, but I think now more than ever, it is extremely important. That last statement, help consumers care for themselves and the ones that they love, right? So let's just be honest, we are in very intimate spaces within the home, the kitchen and the bathroom, spaces where you take care of yourself, you take care of your friends, you host guests. And it's a great opportunity for us to continue on our vision of gracious living through technology products and improve upon that experience as we go forward. So that's the vision. Just keep that in the back of your mind as we walk through some more of the products closer towards the end of the presentation. And I hope that you'll see, again, we're kind of at step 1 of that journey, but continuing along that journey as we go. Along with that vision, always great to have pillars or development themes that we keep in front of us. I will tell you these development themes are not rocket science, but they are very important. They're important because companies that don't have development themes or these pillars oftentimes get caught doing tech for technology's sake. And we certainly don't want to do that. We want to make sure we're delivering technology that's meaningful and drives towards that vision of the smart home, and then also our overall corporate vision of gracious living. So these 4 themes, easier, delightful, safer, and healthier, we keep in front of us. And every product that we launch must hit on one of these themes, and ideally hits on multiple, if not all 4 of the themes. And what you'll see, off to the left side, you kind of see that vision or the statement for each one of those. Easier, understands my needs, delightful, provides that entertaining experience, safer, protects my safety, and healthier, of course, a healthier lifestyle. But then off to the right, what's really interesting is you see some of the other companies that are also already playing in the smart home arena and are playing in these same pillars as we are. Just good to note that, we're not the only ones thinking like this, and that's great. The whole smart home is all about creating that greater experience for the consumer. So yes, we want to have that bathroom experience, but we also want to make sure our experiences lend themselves really well to the rest of the environment and tie into what the other experiences consumers have in their home. Right? So as an example, right, a consumer that has smart lights everywhere else in their home also wants that smart light experience in the bathroom. They want that easier voice interaction experience that's seamless across the entire home. So how are we able to build the ecosystem ourselves within those pillars, but then also tie into the greater smart home ecosystem that they've probably already started to create? So again, glimpse of where we're going, glimpse of the pillars that we keep in front of us and the themes and the threads that run throughout all of our products that incorporate technology. I'd be remiss without showing you this ecosystem graphic, right? So I've been saying that ecosystem word quite a bit over this presentation, and it's really important to note that Kohler really has the opportunity to create that complete ecosystem, and we're really the only ones that can do that, right? We are able to offer every product in the bathroom space that allows the consumer to be that one-stop shop for the bathroom unconnected, and now also the bathroom connected. So, and what's really powerful about that is there is a silly phrase in the smart home world that's called 1 + 1 = 3. Obviously, that's really bad math, but what it means is products in the smart home are designed to stand alone and be great by themselves. That's the one part of the equation. But then when they're combined with other components of the smart home, they need to be greater than they would be by themselves. That's the 3. And you're able to do that really well when you control the entire end-to-end experience. And again, us offering all of the products in that space allows us to control that end-to-end experience and make sure you have a seamless integration when it comes to those smart home products. Clearly, we have a very large footprint in the bathroom, starting to have a large connected footprint in the kitchen space as well. I think you'll see that kitchen portfolio grow more and more over time. We are certainly not to the point where we are the complete kitchen ecosystem, but we feel we are a very important part of the kitchen ecosystem, especially as it relates to smart. So each one of these core categories help make up the smart home and the smart bathroom specifically. With that, I'm going to kind of shift away from our vision and where we're going and shift really to where we are now, which I think will give you a good understanding of the product offering. And we'll start with this thought process around installation. I always like to talk about this because, when I do live in-person training, someone always asks me to talk about, well, isn't it harder for me to install a smart home product for my consumers? I want to dismiss that myth and make sure you understand that these products don't have to be intimidating. I want to get you away from that fear and then allow you really to focus on the features and benefits that these products offer, which we'll talk about at the end, and think about that first and foremost and not be worried about the installation process. So the installation is meant to be, like I said, not intimidating. I want it to be simple, and I want you to understand that. So it's really about 2 different steps. So step 1 is no different than any other non-connected product. It's about the installation, the physical installation, right? So installing a physical toilet, installing a kitchen faucet. The only little bit of difference that comes into play with these connected products is the potential for there also to be power, right? So for our toilet line, you have to install them and then plug them in. For our kitchen line, you have to install that kitchen faucet and then plug it in. But that's the only difference, right? So it's really meant to be still a very simple physical installation. And then there is a handshake, right? So there's a handshake between the installer with the end consumer, right? So the end consumer then has to take that extra step too to connect the product to our app ecosystem, right? So that requires downloading an app, creating an app, etc. I want to make sure we all understand, though, that if you only do step one, these products all still function as great bathroom products or great kitchen products, and step two doesn't have to be done. Step two being done amplifies the experience, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but it's meant to be a very simple process going from that physical installation, which should be the same from your non-connected products to your connected products, and then that handshake to get to step two, which is the app step of the component. And we'll dive a little bit deeper. I'm going to use the next two slides. We're going to use one of our kitchen faucets, Sensate, as the example to dive just a layer deeper to help understand these two different steps of the process. So what I have displayed here is on the left our touchless response kitchen faucet installation, and then on the right is our connected kitchen faucet installation. So under the counter, you see those water hookups like you would on any kitchen faucet, the same water hookups. Now the only added element of newness associated with technology, be it the touchless system or the connected system, are those boxes, right? So you see a black box there on the left and you see a blue box there on the right. That box literally just gets screwed underneath the deck of a kitchen faucet and then gets plugged in. And the installation process is then done after that. So again, still a very simple installation process in terms of installing a kitchen sink and then connecting that power system to power the connectivity. That's where the step one of that process would end. The next slide I'll show you here is where step two would begin, right? So this is where the homeowner would go into the app store, be it the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store, and download our Kohler Konnect app. This is no different than downloading Gmail or downloading any app throughout the App Store and then creating an account and adding your product. So it's a very simple step-by-step app process, and that one app allows the consumer to control any of their connected products. Again, really just trying to break it down here for you guys in some easy bit-sized pieces of physical installation and then the app being added to a consumer's phone to add their products. So with that, I'm going to transition now for the next 20 minutes or so, and then we'll get into questions about the actual product. So I'm going to walk through 4 different products. The first kind of group of products is the connected kitchen sink faucets. So these faucets are among my favorite because of the ease of interaction. So these faucets, if you're familiar with our touchless line, still operate in that traditional manual sense. So that lever you see still works kind of the old-fashioned way to turn a faucet on and off and control temperature. But an added level of benefit is the touchless component. You're able to wave your hand underneath that faucet and without ever touching it, activate the flow of water. Above and beyond that, as you get to connected, again, once you've done that app step, you're able to do voice control. So if you had Alexa or Google Home or Apple Siri in your house, you can simply just ask a voice command, hey Kohler, pour me 1 cup of water. Hey Kohler, pour a dog bowl. And you're able to dispense amounts of water via voice. So all about giving consumers different ways to choose to interact with their product and whatever makes sense for that given task that they're about to accomplish. So a great product in highlighting the different features and benefits associated with multimodal control when you're talking about smart home. And this is also a poster child for future improvement. So that's one of the great features and benefits as it relates to smart home products, is the ability to be upgraded over time. So we actually, just a couple weeks ago, released an upgrade to these products. So anyone that had one of these products already installed received that upgrade kind of free, right? And it was a hand washing skill. So now you're able to ask your faucet, hey, Kohler, help me wash my hands. By saying that, the faucet actually takes you through a scripted CDC prompt of the best way to wash your hands. Everyone could imagine how important a skill like that is right now, given the COVID situation that we find ourselves in. And those simple reminders of those steps associated with washing your hands can be very powerful for children and even for adults as they're in the kitchen space working and doing things. This line of connected faucets is great for us. We have it on several different families, several different finishes, sensate, grays, artifacts, a host of different products that touch on different design choices, as well as finish colors, which allows you as the trades to help consumers pick the right design they want, and then the level of technology that they want on top of that. So that's one of the products we're excited about that's available now. We'll transition for the next three products that I'll talk about. They're all in the bathroom space, so they really drive home that bathroom ecosystem component that I've been preaching about. So the first one is Videra Voice Lighted Mirror. So if you're familiar with our portfolio of mirrors, we have a line of mirrors and medicine cabinets that is called Videra. It's a beautifully designed cabinet and mirror in and of itself, and we've taken that family and that platform of products and expanded it into the technology and connected portfolio as well. So by the graphic here, you'll see those kind of white bars on the mirror. That's a lighting component. So this mirror incorporates really great grooming lighting. If you've ever seen one in person, those lights get really bright and allow you to really see your face, to groom, tweeze, shave, whatever it might be, and get that task done. And then there's a little bar along the very bottom of the box, and that's what really drives all of the connectivity and technology of this product. It actually fully incorporates the Amazon Alexa assistant. So if you're familiar with Amazon Alexa in your home today, you're able to ask that device weather, news, traffic, the sports score, whatever those things might be, you can now do hands-free with this product in the bathroom space. You don't have to bring a dot into that space. You don't have to bring a phone into your space to get access to that information. This product really embodies that first pillar I was talking about in terms of information access and that progression that we find ourselves in, with the voice being a primary way for consumers to grab information. This product is available now. It comes in 3 different sizes, a 24, 34, and 40. So again, similar to that kitchen space, really trying to give the consumer options to build out their space however they choose and see fit, and not be bound by what technology we have. We're trying to propagate that technology across a lot of different families and designs and sizes. This product really was the first smart home product for us and has been very well received. And again, it really gives consumers the ability to grab that information seamlessly. I mean, as simple as, the world we're in today, you wake up and ask NPR for your news report while you're getting ready. This product would spit out all of that information at you as you're getting ready and going about your day in that space already. Similar to the faucet, though, it does incorporate some manual control, right? We think that that's a really important component of all of these products. So there's always the ability to manually override that voice assistant to control lighting and sound and the overall experience. So wanting to give consumers that manual control, which is really important as well. I'll jump over to the next one. So clearly, Kohler company known for their toilet portfolio, right? So that's something that's really important to us as a company in general. And of course, bringing technology to that space is just as important. So this slide is meant to represent a couple of different products. So we have a product called Pure Warmth, which is a heated toilet seat. Anybody that lives anywhere in the Midwest will tell you the second you've used a heated toilet seat, you didn't know you needed one until you used it. It's that simple, easier, delightful experience for the consumer that warms the seat to their liking for that just a little bit more gracious of an experience. Pure Warmth is available right now as well. It comes in 2 different sizes, an EB or PB, and it's completely retrofittable. So you're able to buy that toilet seat after the fact and attach it to any toilet you might have in your home or you're looking to buy in the future and upgrade that experience with that little bit more of a gracious experience. What's kind of smart about it is it connects into our ecosystem as well and allows for app control. So you're able to set the preferences of duration of heat, intensity of heat, to the settings and times throughout the day that you want that to happen. Also represented on this slide is a brand new product for us that'll be coming out in the next couple of months. That's called Touchless Flush. So I think everyone is probably familiar with what a touchless flush is. If you've ever been in a commercial bathroom, a lot of them have that touchless flush experience where you're able to wave your hand over a fill valve. We're bringing that experience to the residential bathroom space as well. And again, given what's happening in the world, that touchless experience, especially when you're in the bathroom, is extremely important. And all you have to do is wave your hand on top of the trip lever. So the trip lever, again, that same vein we were talking about earlier, that trip lever still works as a manual, kind of old school trip lever if you ever need it to, but there's also a sensor built into that trip lever that can detect your hand within a couple of inches of that trip lever, and all you have to do is wave your hand to activate that flushing sequence for a completely touchless experience when you're using that product. So again, easier, more delightful, gracious experience when it comes to using the toilet in a couple of different ways to augment kind of traditional gravity flush toilets with these easy upgradable experience with the heated seat and the touchless experience as well. I'm going to jump into one more product here. It's actually a couple of products kind of tied into one. We'll talk about the showering space. So we've had a product in the offering for quite some time that is called DTV. DTV stands for Digital Thermostatic Valve, and it's all about digital mixing of the water to provide precise temperature control throughout the duration of the shower and throughout the changing seasons of your home. And we have a flagship product called DTV Plus. DTV Plus allows the end consumer to incorporate anywhere from 2 to 12 shower heads of water delivery, different temperature controls throughout that showering experience, as well as lighting, music, and steam, really allowing you to build a spa-like experience within your own showering space. DTV Unconnected is all about, like I said, that spa experience and actually really cleaning up the showering space. As simple as it sounds, you're able to remove those exterior diverter valves and actually physically clean up the space as germ-wise clean up the space. With the added layer of connectivity, as you can probably imagine, as we've talked about voice control with the other products, you are now able to voice control the showering experience as well. So you would be able to walk into that shower and ask Alexa or Google to start a shower or start any preset that you might have saved before, and that shower will just begin for you to the perfect temperature and settings. I mean, imagine getting home from the gym, walking into your house and saying, Alexa, start my post-workout shower. By the time you put your gym bag down and get upstairs, your shower is started for you. What's great about DTV Plus Connected is any consumer that already has DTV Plus today is able to add this as an upgrade and retrofit that experience to bring their DTV Plus to the next level. Again, back to that ecosystem and Alexa and homes being modular and upgradable now. This is a great story to talk about in terms of improving the experience over time. Also represented in the showering space is a product called DTV Mode. So DTV Plus is really our flagship offering about that full holistic experience. DTV Mode is just focused on those great experiences associated with digital showering. So having that precision water temperature control in that space with a digital mixing valve, but brought down to an affordable price point in terms of only giving consumers the option of having 2 different shower heads and one really simple and intuitive user interface. So really trying to bring some great technology to the showering space across a host of different design choices and price points and feature sets, allowing you to spec and build showers for your consumers however you might see fit. So that really, I went through that pretty quickly. I think I'm going to pass it over to Megan for just a minute, but just kind of as a summary, please throw some questions in the chat and I'll get to those questions. But that was a quick way to take you through where Kohler Company sees the smart home market today, where we're trying to drive that business to long term, and a sample of the products that are in the offering today. And hopefully you can see where we'll continue to expand this easier, delightful, safer experience as it relates to all of the kind of core areas throughout the bathroom space and the bathroom ecosystem.
Great, thanks, Jonathan. So I'm going to take a minute to quickly run through some of our trade tools and resources, starting with our Digital Pro Toolbox. This is a great place to read our latest trade-focused news and product announcements, find literature like our continuum pieces that show our breadth of solutions in the kitchen and bathroom space, as well as product sell sheets. You can download high-res imagery for your website, social media, or for selling tools for customers. Browse our video library that have installation and product videos. Take trainings on products such as digital showering discussed today and also intelligent toilets, and find design and specification tools to create customized solutions. Finally, access our replacement part wizard as well as service and warranty information. We offer exceptional customer service support with a dedicated trade line to help you solve problems and answer your questions quickly. So take note of that number if you don't have it. And last, take advantage of your in-market resources from your local Kohler sales rep who can share information on specific trade programs to 32 Kohler signature stores in most markets across the US, which are now open by appointment. Kohler is a proud sponsor of several trade organizations, so consider joining your local chapter for industry-specific support. We will be answering questions live in a few minutes, like Jonathan mentioned, but if you do have any questions we're unable to get to, please post them in our Pro Toolbox community under Help and Support. I have a screenshot there for you to help navigate. And save the date for our 2 remaining weeks of live virtual workshops. Next week, we will cover behind the wall Kohler valve platform and wrap up with digital showering installation and solutions. So watch your email for links to register. And now we will open it up for questions, which you can ask via the chat function Q&A tab in the upper right corner. I see some already coming in.
Yeah, so I think Kevin helped me answer some of those questions as we were going through live, but I'll just touch on them again just so everyone's on the same page, and if they can keep funneling in, and I'll keep answering questions. So one of the questions was around, are the faucets themselves listening technology when you say, hey, Kohler? So no. So there are a couple of ways to play in the smart home arena when it relates to these voice assistants. One way is products that are called works with. And works with products are what the faucet and shower really are. So works with products require you to have an Alexa Tower or Google Home or Apple HomePod somewhere else in the vicinity. You are actually speaking to that other product, the Alexa, Google, or Apple, and that product through the cloud is giving the command to our Kohler products. That's called the works with products. And that's really what's most prevalent in terms of the smart home world. That's how light bulbs work, that's how switches works, that's how garage door openers work. That's what's really prevalent. The other way to play with these assistants is called embedded technology, and that's what I talked about with the Videra product. That's where you actually embed all of the technology associated with one of those towers actually into your product. So in that situation, the Videra mirror could actually be that embedded product to control some other works with product inside of your home. So hope that answers your question. A kind of similar vein to that is an overarching Kohler Konnect kind of smart home tenant is to make sure we do our best to stay platform agnostic. It's much easier said than done, but our intent is to work with all 3 of those big players on all of the products as best as possible. So I see a question around the ability for the faucet to actually provide warming features or cooling features. So Kevin answered that gracefully, but the faucets today, again, remember I talked about that manual control, right? So still having the ability to use that manual lever to turn the faucet on and off. that manual lever is then therefore controlling a manual valve. So this is a manual valve product. So whatever flow rate and temperature that you have your handle selected to or set to, that's the same temperature and flow rate that you'll get when you also give a voice command. How are the under-counter kitchen sink control boxes protected from damage by power? How much generally will it cost to replace? I don't know the cost to replace question off the top of my head, Kevin. I'm not sure if you do, but those are all tested the same way you would see testing for any CE type product and certification that's out there in the world to protect from surge protection. And then from a water damage perspective, they are coated with the electronics inside to prevent water egress and moisture buildup. Kevin, do you off the top of your head know the replacement cost on those boxes? Take that as a no, which is okay. We can follow up with that question after the call. Are these able to integrate with Lutron Homeworks automation system? So great question. So one of the benefits of partnering with Amazon, Google, and Apple is once Amazon and Apple and Google expand their partnerships, we are also able to expand ours. So the mirror as one example, again, since that mirror is an embedded Alexa device, Amazon's ecosystem allows our mirror to also control that loop system. That's not to say with integrators like Control4 or Crestron or Savant, we're not quite there yet. But as you can imagine, with our agnostic approach to the other three, you would start to see an agnostic approach to some of those home automation systems as well, where it's applicable for the portfolio. So the portfolio is constantly expanding. And like I said at the very beginning of the presentation, we are at step one along a much larger journey as it relates to smart home. I think that touches on the questions. Unless someone wants to chime in with a quick chat question, I'd be happy to answer it. If not, I will thank everyone for their time and give you a couple minutes of your day back since we weren't full of questions, and we'll leave it at that. Thank you, everyone.